Do you have an underwater green thumb?
Welcome to Colonize the Ocean podcast, where we discuss oceanic colonization, exploration, and education with your hosts Adam Jewell and Brendon Traxler.
So one thing we talk about a lot on our podcast and our live streams and what have you is the different tech and the different designs around underwater habitats. We talk locations, lots of different things. But one thing we don't really talk that much about, and the reason I'm talking about it right now, when this podcast is going out, is going to be September 2nd, 2024. And on our live stream this week is going to be when we're going to be talking about coral restoration, coral, and how that plays in with underwater habitats. So I thought I'd do a little tag along here with this short here today and just really, discuss how that kind of plays in a little bit. And that, I am not one personally that likes lots of plants and stuff. I just doesn't do anything for me. Now I understand that the health benefits are great and you should have plants in your house and all that good stuff, but I just don't like the looks of them. That being said, when it comes to living underwater, you've got the whole outside world, which you want to be as beautiful and outstanding and colorful as possible. And the best way of doing that is to attract the fish and whatever around to it. And on top of that is having that coral out there. So it's one of those things where we're going to be discussing, but real quick, I want to talk about that. It is a benefit and it is a smart business decision above all, but to have coral and to make sure that the area where your underwater habitat is pristine. So what does that look like and how does that happen? Well, it's a longer conversation, but one of the things you can do, and which has been done on some very high-end floating houses and other things, is to have almost like a coral garden around your in this case they were floating houses, but around your habitat. And so you can, even though the area may be either barren where you're at or very limited, you can definitely grow that by having coral gardens around your base of your habitat or planting coral gardens out close around, making your own reef as you go along. And to an extent, your habitat itself can become its own reef too over time. And so with that, you're going to draw in all types of life. And at the same time, that adds value when you're looking at it from a business standpoint to your underwater habitat. But even more so, it lets you wake up in the morning, look out your window, and have this beautiful scape around you that normally would not be there. So, real quick one here, just plugging all that. But if there's something you want to hear more about, definitely join us on our live stream, or it'll be the podcast that comes out in a week or whatever like that too. But coral, I think, when it comes to underwater habitats and just the ocean in general, people don't understand the value and the need for it. And especially when it comes to underwater habitat where you're going to have people there, whether they're living or working, the need for coral in and around your habitat is vastly undervalued. So, is this something you've thought about? Is this something that interests you? And we'd love to hear about it.